The 2026 MLS season is around the corner, and lately I've lost some interest in the league, or at least when it comes to following one specific team and rooting for that team to do well. Or maybe that's just an Orlando City problem. They haven't really been exciting to watch, and the results haven't been great. Now, I do enjoy hate watching Chicago and Miami, but this season I'm going to be mainly looking forward to tracking American prospects in Major League Soccer, which there are plenty. So, who are these US men's national team prospects that you should keep track of? Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today I want to go through 7 US men's national team prospects that I will be keeping track of this season in MLS. And yeah, at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you a few honorable mentions because there are more than 7. These are just the 7 that I am interested the most, and I'll explain to you why. I'm also going to go through what I would consider a successful season for each of these prospects that I'm going to be talking about. And obviously, I'm going to try to keep it realistic, and you should do the same. Like, none of them are going to be the MVP, at least not yet. With that said, don't forget to drop a like in this video right now. Just do it. It takes 1 second. And let me know in the comment section down below 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, whatever amount of prospects you want to tell me that you will be keeping track of in MLS this season, or at least put the name of the player in the comment section down below so that I can add that player to my list. I'll be trying to keep track of as many players as I can, and I'm sure I'll miss 1 or 2, so put in the comment section down below any prospects that you believe I should follow this season. And speaking of development, this video is brought to you by FPro, but more on that later. Let's play the intro and start with prospect number 1. Okay, player number 1. And keep in mind, player number 1, player number 7, the order doesn't really matter. This is not a ranking, okay? It's random. Player number 1 is actually the most obvious one out of them all in this video. It's the 16-year-old attacking midfielder or winger from the Philadelphia Union, Cavan Sullivan. Right now, he's one of the top American prospects in general, right? He's going to go to Manchester City when he's 18. Will he play there? That's a different discussion, but he is a top American prospect, and it's obvious that I'll be keeping track of him this season. Now, last season, he played 214 MLS regular season minutes. He was still involved with their MLS Next Pro team. Now, Cavan turned 17 in September, so he's still super young. And I want to make sure that I keep the expectations as realistic as possible. And I know he said he wants to kill it in MLS early, so he gets a US Men's National Team World Cup call-up. But let's be real, that is just not realistic. Would I love it if it happened? Of course. But it's not realistic. So I'll say this, if Cavan Sullivan can get somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 minutes in the MLS regular season, a few goal contributions, somewhere around like 4 to 6 throughout the season, I would consider this a very successful season for a 16-year-old in MLS. I don't really expect a breakout year for Cavan, maybe in 2027 before he moves to Manchester City. That's if Manchester City doesn't just loan him out, of course. Now, in the U17 World Cup, he seems to be a big game player. He does not crumble under pressure. His biggest strength is actually his mentality. I mean, he's a good player overall. Athleticism, technique. I think the decision making needs to improve. He's still a bit hectic on the ball and he has to mature. But the mentality is crazy. Like, this guy loves the big moments. He doesn't feel the pressure, and he's only 16. He showed in the U17 World Cup that when his team needs him, he doesn't crumble. The talent is there, the athleticism is there, and the mentality is there. If he can mature, improve his decision making, this is one heck of a prospect. And this season, I will be keeping track of Cavan Sullivan very closely, so hopefully his minutes go up. Player number 2 is the 18-year-old left back that can also play as a left mid or left winger, whatever you want him to play, essentially out wide. And that's the 18-year-old Peyton Miller from New England Revolution. So he played a little over 2,000 minutes last season for New England. The minutes he missed were due to injury or US men's national team youth team duty. He was in the U20 World Cup as one of our players. So he was a starter for New England last season. He did fine. He managed to get 2 goals and 3 assists throughout the season. Now, whether they play him as a wingback, left back, or even winger, what I want to see is a breakout season so that in 2026, he can perhaps get a big move to Europe over the summer, or maybe in 2027. I want to see him play more than 2,000 minutes once again. The goal contributions really depend on where Maximo Carrizo will play him. If he's a winger, I want to see more goal contributions. If he's a left back, I can't really expect too much out of that. But I want to see him is truly stand out. He is young, but he already has 2 MLS seasons under his belt. I want to see a legitimate breakout season. I want to see him as one of the best fullbacks in the league. Not the best, but let's say top 5 or easily a top 8. And I don't consider last season really a breakout year. I think he did fine, but a breakout season to me is when a player truly stands out, right? You see a massive jump in his game. And I think we could get it in 2026 with Peyton Miller. I don't think he'll leave in Europe by the summer. If he does, he'll probably leave in 2027. So I want him to really stand out this year. And we do need depth at the left back position, right? We have Anthony Robinson that's in his prime, and the backup right now is like Max Arfston. So we need more left backs, and I think Peyton Miller could become one of those. Now, before we continue, if you have a kid or a nephew or anyone that you want to help with player development at a young age, you're going to want to pay attention to this. A quick word from the sponsor of this video, FPro. Do you have a young son or young daughter and you want to help them develop their soccer skills? You know I'm very much pro youth development, right? And ball mastery. And what if I told you it can be done at home? And there's a product that can actually help you. And that's why today we're partnering up with FPro. And you may be wondering, what is FPro? It is a gamified soccer fundamentals training system for kids. It combines 2 main parts, an FPro app and the soccer training mat, so the kids can have fun and train from home. So the mat has numbered zones to guide the movement. The app shows you how to do it. It's also built by UEFA coaches, so every single drill is designed for real skill growth. There's also a skill progression. It starts easy, adapts to every level, unlocks as kids improve. And it feels like a video game. You earn XP, badges, trophies. It's just a way to keep the kids motivated. And you may be wondering, why does it work? Well, pretty straightforward, because repetition builds muscle memory. And ball mastery is key for youth soccer development at early ages. They also have many subscription plans. Some of them are less than $10 a month, so you can go check them out yourself. And remember, for your kid to develop and become a better soccer player, it's not just about doing drills. They have to enjoy it. They have to fall in love with the ball. And that's one thing that I believe FPro does. Okay, so now if you want to, make sure to use the link in the description of this video and you will get 20% off if you also use the code Tactical Manager. So use the link in the description and the promo code Tactical Manager. And in the process, you'll also be helping the channel. Thank you very much, FPro. Okay, we're back. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. Now, player number 3 is a 20-year-old. So he's almost no longer a prospect. And he plays also for the New England Revolution. So you're going to want to follow New England this season in MLS. His name is Brooklyn Raines. He can play as a central midfielder, central defensive midfielder. Let's talk about him. He was a starter for the Houston Dynamo last season, and he wasn't bad, but he was fairly inconsistent. You could see the talent, but the performances weren't really standouts, in my personal opinion. He is 20, and he turns 21 this season. I want to see over 2,000 minutes in a breakout year, with a coach that knows him very well from the USMNT U20s, Maximo Carrizo, because he did move from Houston to New England, probably because Carrizo wanted him. And after he has a breakout season this year, I hope he gets a move to a top European league or even the Eredivisie for one of the best teams there in 2027. But before he makes that move, he needs to become very good in MLS, maybe dominant, which we have not seen that from him yet. And he is turning 21. He is the oldest player in this video, by the way. And as I said, he's kind of running out of time in terms of being a prospect. He needs to have a big year so that he can get that move. Otherwise, he'll just keep developing in MLS and he'll just become a very good MLS player at some point. But I want him to be better than that. So make sure you follow Brooklyn Raines this season. All right, player number 4 is a player that I very much like his player profile. He's a creative 10. They do play him out wide as well, but I do see him more as a 10. He can play make. He's very technical, smooth on the ball. His name is Maximo Carrizo from New York City FC. And he turns 18 this February. And he has only played 84 MLS minutes in his very young career. It's time to start getting minutes. Those minutes have to start trending up this year. He needs to get meaningful minutes, even if it's off the bench. 84 minutes in an entire season, that is nothing. Now, New York City FC recently announced that Maxi Morales at age 38 will be back. And I mean, he plays that position that I would want Maximo to play. And they did make it to the conference finals last season. So what I do wonder is if this season they will slowly start integrating Maximo more. Otherwise, he should probably leave. They could also give Maximo minutes out wide. He played a little bit there last season when they gave those tiny little minutes to him. But it's hard to tell. And they have the same coach as last season. And like I said, they did well. I would say roughly what I said for Cavan would be a successful season for Maximo. If he can get anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 minutes in MLS and get a few goal contributions here and there, like somewhat around 4 to 6, something like that, I would consider it a successful season so that in 2027, at age 19, he can go for the breakout year. So for Maximo, I'm not really expecting a breakout season. I'm just expecting for him to get a substantial amount of minutes in the MLS regular season. And then in 2027, he can have his first big year. That's my opinion, and that's what I'm hoping for. And again, Maximo was another American that was in the U17 World Cup back in 2025, okay, last year. But now player number 5 is another American that was in the U17 World Cup with Maximo, with Cavan Sullivan. And his name is Julian Hall, the 17-year-old forward from the New York Red Bulls. So he got roughly 600 minutes last season, which is not great, but that's not bad at his age. But he did only score 1 goal and get 1 assist. So all of that has to improve, the minutes and the goal contribution, so that I can consider it a successful season. Since he has already gotten 600 minutes, I would say he needs to get around 1,500 minutes this year and a few goals and assists. Let's say 1,500 minutes and maybe 7 to 8 goal contributions. I don't expect him to start for the New York Red Bulls, but hopefully more than double those minutes and become much more effective on the field in the final third, getting more goals, more assists. And I'm not going to lie, he was a bit of a disappointment to me in the U17 World Cup, Julian Hall, playing as a center forward. But I still have some hopes for him. He's still very young. He didn't play well in the U17 World Cup, but the kid is like 17. Based on what I've seen from him, I think my expectations are realistic, but they won't happen. I think he could get 1,000 minutes. This is my prediction, right? This is not what I want to consider a successful season, but this is what I think will happen. I think he'll get somewhere around 900 to 1,100 minutes, and the goal contributions won't move that much. He might get like 2 goals, 2 assists, something like that. I think Julian Hall will still need another 2 to 3 years to fully mature and actually be an effective player in MLS. And once he does that, by age 19 or 20, that's when he can get a big move to Europe. As of now, I'm not seeing that. I still have hopes for him, but I also have a lot of question marks. But this is a player that I will be keeping track of because the talent is there. And maybe he's just not a center forward. Maybe you should play him as a winger or a second striker, right? I don't think he plays well with his back to goal. So that is a little side note of what I've observed from Julian Hall. But we'll see what New York Red Bulls does this year, how they play him, if they play him. We'll see. Player number 6 is Xavier Gozo, the winger, the forward that plays for RSL and MLS. Now, he's 18, but he turns 19 in March, right? So next month, literally 1 month into the MLS season. So for the entire year, he's going to be a 19-year-old. And he got a good chunk of games last season, most of them as a starter in MLS for RSL. He scored 4 goals and got 3 assists in 25 appearances. And in my opinion, in terms of minutes, he should be fine. The question is, can he be more effective? Those are 7 goal contributions at age 18. That's not bad. What I want to see this season is essentially a breakout year. I want him to get double digits when it comes to goal contributions. Get 10 or more, honestly more than 10, probably aim for 12, maybe 6 goals and 6 assists, something like that. Now, he didn't really impress me in the U20 World Cup back in 2025, but no one really did in that USMNT U20 team, especially in the knockout rounds. I didn't think he was great, but he's young and I'm not concerned. Also, Tom Bogert, a very reliable MLS journalist, did link Xavier Gozo to Aston Villa and Atletico Madrid. So if he said it, there very likely is some level of interest. So he's an intriguing prospect to me. I really want to follow and see how he does this season. He already got 4 goals and 3 assists last year in 25 appearances. I hope the minutes stay the same or he gets a bit more. I think he'll get a bit more, but he needs to go for that double-digit goal contributions if he doesn't leave during the summer. I don't think he'll leave during the summer. Let's say I want him to get over 2,000 minutes this season. I think that can be done with RSL. And let's go for 7 goals and 6 assists. We'll go for that. That's what I would consider a very good season from Xavier Gozo. And then in 2027, maybe he can get a move. And you know what you should do right now? Drop a like in this video if you haven't already, and comment any prospects that I might have forgotten or not mentioned that I should keep an eye out for. Okay, last but not least, we have player number 7, and his name is Ian James, the 17-year-old center back from Sporting Kansas City. Now, mind you, center back is a position just like goalkeeper that takes much longer for a player to develop, right? You don't see many 17 or 18-year-old center backs playing in top leagues. And you're going to say, well, forwards as well. That's not true. Like elite forwards or top forwards, they're breaking out when they're 17, 18, 19, 20. But center backs, sometimes it takes time. Like when they're 21 or 22 is when they truly start to shine. And Ian James is only 17. And he started to play more late last season for Sporting Kansas City. He's talented. He's a very young center back, right? As I said, a position that takes some time to develop. He has the athleticism and size. I see the potential. But of course, he still needs to develop many aspects of his game. And again, the U.S. men's national team needs a new generation of center backs, right? Besides Chris Richards, many of our center backs are okay or not great. Tim Ream is old as hell right now. He's very old. And then you have guys like Noah Kai Banks emerging, but we need more. We need him to develop. We need Josh Winder to develop and many others. I would say as long as Ian James becomes a consistent starter this season in MLS and he looks comfortable in the league, to me, that is a big season. That is a win for his development, and that is big. It's tremendous. And honestly, I think he's going to be a starter for them this season. I looked at their roster, and I might be going crazy here. And if you're a Sporting KC fan, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think Ian James might be your best center back. Like, he's probably going to be a starter, and he might be the best center back for Sporting Kansas City, which for a 17-year-old, that is huge. It's going to be great for his development. He's going to help him mature. So I hope that happens. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Ian James this season. Okay, everyone, and obviously there are many other names that I didn't go through. Here's a few shout-outs that I want to give, like Christopher Cupps from the Chicago Fire. I'll be hate watching the Chicago Fire and following Christopher Cupps. I hope he does well. Taha Habroun, right, the Moroccan-American that plays for the Columbus Crew. That is a player that you should keep track of as well. He's very technical. There's a lot of talent with that player, and I want to see how he does with Columbus this season. I think Frankie Westfield from Philly is another player we should probably keep an eye out for. I know I didn't talk about him too much, but I will probably be tracking him. And honestly, there are many others that I didn't feel like mentioning in this video that I will be keeping track of, and you can let me know in the comment section down below. And that's all for today. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. And that's all. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.